Hello friends, welcome to �Ｓalesforce CMAtics video session 142. So basically in today's video we will understand about the parallel coordinates, what are the formatting options which are available under parallel coordinates, and also which are available under matrix array. So we will cover both of them at one go in today's session. Quite easy, and you will just get to know how we can actually use the formatting options for both of these options. Nothing much is there. There is only one options as well which is there to understand, because others are like the conditional formatting, the trellis option, others all are the same. Okay, the chart markers, I won't walk through that, but yeah, I will walk through specifically what is defined for these two particular charts. Okay, so yeah, let's move to the Analytics Studio, and yeah, let me deal with the same data set, which is fine. And here very quickly I will go for parallel coordinates. Now as soon as I go for parallel coordinates, okay, as you can see over here, fine, this is how it's defined. Now basically I have the count of rows. Maybe what I can do is, so parallel coordinates is like in the node measure, so you have something called as the node measures, right? So under node measures, the more number of measures you can have, the better. So let's say I go for the sum of amount, okay, and let's say over here also I go for the average of amount. Okay, now as you can see, this is how it's defined. Okay, maybe under line. Okay, now when you don't select anything under lines, basically it just shows you the total. For example, the sum of amount is basically somewhere around this, a little bit above 800 million, and somewhere this average of amount is somewhere close to 700k. Okay, now under lines, let's say I defined something like, for example, as of now I am taking something which has very minimum thing. Let's say go for stage. Okay, so this is how this is defined. Okay, in a crisscross manner, as you can see. Okay, so that's the way it is defined. Like you have this red line which is for closed one, and that's the maximum 450, and what is the average of that? That is somewhere around one, I mean somewhere around 1.1, I guess. Yeah, somewhere around 1.1, which is fine. So that's how this whole thing is defined, as you can see. Now if you go to this options, okay, let me put my thing over here. So you have this parallel coordinates, and like here you can see you have the sum of amount, the average of amount. If you don't want to show the measure text, you can disable this one. Okay, now you see some points over here, right? If you don't want to show the points, you can disable that option. I think without point is looking fine as well. That's fine. And if you don't want to start the access at 0, you can just disable that option. Depending upon which one is happening from 0, you can just disable this option, and that's it. You can also use the log scale. Okay, the log scale can also be defined. However, we will just keep it to the normal scale. Now this is how it's all about, like the conditional formatting, chart markers, trellis, tooltip. These are all same. Okay, so there's nothing to walk through separately. Fine, these are all the same thing. But yeah, this is the main thing to learn for how this parallel coordinates happen. And for parallel coordinates, the more measures you select under node measures, the better it is. Like under lines, if you see, we can only select one. We cannot select anything more. Okay, because like here, this is how it's defined as parallel coordinates. Like when select only one of the lines, which will be defined throughout as a parallel coordinates, depending upon what kind of measures you select. So now over here, if I select, let's say maximum of amount, this is how it's defined. And let's say if I also select something like minimum of amount, okay, this is how the whole thing is defined right now. So yeah, the more we can define as node measure, the better it is, and that is all about this parallel coordinates. Okay, so maybe I can write formatting options of parallel coordinates. I can save this very quickly. Okay, I can save it in my recipe dataset. So formatting options of parallel coordinates, that's fine. And the same concept applies for the next chart, which is matrix ladder. So what I will do is I will quickly open the same data set once again, and very quickly I will shift to this thing, which is matrix ladder. Now very quickly also let me copy this in my notepad. So what's the minimum requirement to display the matrix ladder? Okay, so just like we have the minimum requirement, for pyramid, for stacked pyramid, for combo, similarly we have something for matrix ladder as well. So if I just copy all of this thing. Now, the difference between parallel coordinates and matrix, one of the differences is that, on parallel coordinates, you can go with just one measures, okay? With just one measure, you can go away with that, that's fine. But when it comes to matrix ladder, the way this chart is defined, you need to have at least 3 field per axis. So what I need to have is, I need to have the sum of amount, let's say, okay, I need to have the average of amount, okay? And I need to also have the maximum amount. So once that is done, okay, now something will pop up. Okay. I also need one field. So the three fields won't be sufficient. I need one field for polygons. Okay. So as of now, let's say I just go for stage bucket so that we can properly check it out. Otherwise, it will become a little bit complex if I go for stage or industry. So as you can see, this is how this is defined properly. So the closed stage we have is defined for with blue. So for the closed stage, the sum of amount we have this one. Okay. We have the maximum amount over here and the average one. And for open stage, this is how it's defined. Okay. So the number here is, okay, the sum of amount is somewhere around 245. So this is that axis. Like if it is 556, you have to know that this falls somewhere around 245. So that's the way it's defined. And now if I go to this formatting option, so we have this ladder chart. So this is more like a ladder chart. Okay, it's defined in a ladder way. Okay, it's more like a web kind of a thing if you see, right? So if you don't want to show this measure, you can just disable this. And if you don't want to show the points, you can disable it. It's simple as that. Okay, nothing much. So as of now, both of this is fine for me. Now this is more like a web kind of thing, and as I told you, the more kind of access you have, the better it is. Okay. So yeah, for example, if you go for stage right now, you can also go for stage. This is how it will be defined. Okay. So of course, there's a lot of colors. I mean, a lot of things are defined. So usually, what I've seen in my practical experience, this radar chart, this matrix radar. So this matrix radar actually works beautifully if on the polygon you select one of those dimension which has very fewer values. For example, in my case, I have the stage bucket which has two. So maybe maximum 5 values, it will be fine if you can go for that. Okay. Otherwise, with a lot, it becomes a bit difficult to gauge the polygons for this matrix radar. Okay. So that's what I can tell you about this one. Yeah. So that's the thing about this. This is all about metrics, and of course I can also go for minimum of amount. Okay. And maybe I can also go for something like count of rows. Okay. So as you can see, the more kind of access you have, the better it is, the better waves define. Okay. So yeah, I can quickly save it as formatting options of matrix header. So let me just quickly save it as. And I can save it in my recipe data set. Okay. So yeah, that is all about this one. So we have learned about the parallel coordinates and also we have learned about matrix header. And yeah, that's it about this one. We have covered both of them in one go. So that's the thing. And rest of the things are same. Legend, tooltip, you can the tooltip and all, it's fine. And yeah, that was the main thing over here. So yeah, that's it about this. And let's meet very soon in our next video. Thank you.